You don't have to memorize 1,000 words before you start preparing for SAT. Hi, this is Adam from SAT Easily. I'm an international student who improved my SAT score from this to this without a vocabulary list. I'm not saying this type of question isn't important. Actually, vocab questions take up the biggest portion of the SAT reading section, about 17%, which means there's one of them in every 6 questions. Then, why am I against memorizing vocab lists for SAT reading? The first reason is that there's no such vocab list from College Board, which promises you this list is gonna cover 100% vocabulary from SAT reading. You run the risk of wasting a lot of time memorizing words that won't even show up in the test. The second reason is that most of the options, about 85%, for vocabulary questions are common words. One typical question consists of 3 common words and 1 uncommon word. You don't really have to know the meaning of the real word to get the right answer. Even the hardest question in this category is just gonna have 2 real words in their options. And this is about 3% chance, which means there's gonna be only 1 or 2 questions in the whole test that are hard like that. In fact, those vocabulary questions have an official name, words in context, which tells us the key to solving this kind of question is in the context, aka the intent of the author or the overall tone. So, let's see 2 examples here.
This is a hard words in context question. You can pause if you want to do this by yourself. So if I encounter this question in the test, I will first read the sentence where the blank is, which is this sentence. And here I can see this should be an adjective, which describes the decisions of those guys. And those guys' decisions are diverged from Johnson's. And Johnson's attitude is very positive. How can I tell? Because he fostered his contributors' diverse perspective by promoting their authorial autonomy. So they are all positive. And here, let's go back to the blank, is diverged from positive, which means it should be something negative. Option A is clearly positive. Option B is a rare word. I don't know the meaning either. Option C, ambiguous. It's neither positive or negative. Option C, unpretentious. I would say instead of calling it positive or negative, it's just irrelevant. So they are all not right, which means this real word is the correct answer. And if you look it up in the dictionary, dogmatic means this. Let's do another question together. I have never seen this question before, so I'm quite nervous. What if I do this wrong? And I feel like it's either mid or hard difficulty because, well, I don't know what this means. Luckily, I know the other 3, but I think maybe to a lot of people, supplemental is like rarer too. But let's focus on B and C, okay? Okay, let's read the question. Charities can mitigate this effect by compensating donors for nuisance costs. Those costs are variable or largely blank donation size. So charities that compensate donors are likely to be attracting a few large donors over many small donors. I see some preference here and attitude. Their attitude is they favor large donors over small donors, and so that they can compensate less, right? So those compensation, though variable, are largely donation size. Let's fill in those words we know first, see if it makes sense. Predictive of donation size. I feel like it doesn't make sense. Those costs are predictive of donation size, which means they are the same, like the larger the donation, the more the compensation. If that is the case, then this is definitely wrong. And C, independent of donation size. I feel like it makes a lot of sense, because if those costs are independent of donation size, then they have a reason to favor large donors over small donors, because they can compensate less, right? So this is a candidate. But I know what supplemental to means too, so I will put this in too. They are largely supplemental to donation size. I think supplemental to, it also means the more you donate, the more they compensate you. So this is like the opposite. So here, this is a candidate, and I don't know what this means. I will choose something I'm more familiar with. And let's see if I'm wrong.
If you have not been persuaded yet, I do have a last reason, which is the knowledge of vocabulary questions are not transferable. By that I mean, you can't apply what you learn from one question to another unless they share the same words in the options. On the other hand, any other type of question, such as grammar, student notes, and of course, the math section, is transferable. You learn the pattern or the rule, and then you're able to solve all the questions in the same category. Most importantly, the patterns are very easy to identify. I'll introduce those in my future videos. SAT is not a very hard test. I believe as long as you study strategically, you can definitely improve quickly. And if you don't know how to study for SAT easily, subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next video.